we have to talk about the new Horizon game that PlayStation just announced. Now, if you haven't seen, Sony finally announced the long rumored Horizon multiplayer game, and as expected, it is a Monster Hunter style game. Now, unexpectedly, it has a little bit of Elden Ring Night Rain in there, but even more unexpectedly is this art style.
Reactive, and skill-based. We took the precision and tactical depth of Horizon's combat and built it for a team environment.
They have chose to go with a highly stylized, more artsy, cartoonish, if you will, art style. So far, it seems to be highly divisive amongst the community, and players that were seemingly looking forward to this title, including myself, are now kind of questioning if this is in fact for us or if this is one that we should just pass by. Now, the game concept is really cool. If you step back and think of playing Horizon Forbidden West and fighting those giant bosses and these giant robotic dinosaurs, and then you're like, you bring in 2 or 3 friends, that seems awesome. That seems like a lot of fun. Would definitely play that. Then you throw in some of the systems and concepts from games like Monster Hunter and Elden Ring Night Rain, and you have a seemingly winning formula. At least for me, that sounds like a great game. But when I picture it, I picture the Decima engine and how Forbidden West looks. And I'm like, man, we're going to get this very cinematic, high graphic fidelity gameplay experience with me and my friends running around, hunting these monsters down, going on missions and raids and adventures. And that's great. And then we finally see the game, which is Horizon Hunter's Gathering, and it is not that. Now, it doesn't look bad. Like, it's detailed, it looks good enough, the art style's there, but there's just something about it that's throwing me off. I can't really put my finger on it, but I just don't like the way this looks. And I like some stylistic games, games like Valorant, League of Legends, Overwatch. Those are some of my favorite games. I play plenty of Fortnite and Borderlands, and stylized art is great when done well. Just something probably to do with expectation versus what we got is really throwing me off here. And I think that's probably what's throwing off a lot of other players. But I have a theory as to why they actually went this route. And it makes sense when I put it in this context. So this game is launching on both PlayStation 5 as well as PC day and date. And I wouldn't put it past them launching it onto Nintendo Switch 2 in the not too distant future, just like they did with the LEGO Horizon series. And this game is also an online multiplayer game. Now, when you're launching an online multiplayer game, it's going to live and die based on its ability to gain and retain players. When it launches, it needs to be able to attract a large player base and then keep them engaged. And nothing pulls you out of the experience faster than an unoptimized, hard to run, poorly ran game. Crysis was the talk of the town, but if you couldn't run it, you couldn't play it. That's a callback. I know I'm showing my age there, but if you can't run the game because it is this crazy AAA cinematic game, then what's the point? Now, Horizon Zero Dawn and Forbidden West, if I do remember correctly, did run semi-well on PC. But by the time you add in more players, more monsters, and some of these systems, I could easily see a game running in that fidelity starting to chug, especially when you think that they're going to want this to run on a whole smorgasbord of configurations and systems. You probably want this to run on, big hitters like the Steam Deck and the upcoming Steam Machine, as well as stuff like the ROG Ally, the Lenovo Legion Go. You want it to run on gaming laptops and low-end desktop PCs, as well as medium and high-end gaming PCs. And of course, the PlayStation 5 and PS5 Pro have to be optimized and run well. And you have to be able to easily account for all of these variables and get it to run well. And typically, when you see a game that's stylized like this, notwithstanding Borderlands 4, I don't know what happened there, but typically when you see a game that's stylized like this, it is lighter and easier to run. If you think of League of Legends and Valorant and Overwatch, those games are really, really easy to run. You run those games at, often 200 plus FPS, and it's a great, smooth experience, and everybody can play it. You can play League of Legends and Valorant on a potato. Like, it's easy to run those games. So when you think of launching this big live service online multiplayer game, you want it to run on everything. And this makes sense when you view it through that lens. If you want a game that can run on everything and you're trying to port this, very cinematic, big budget, photorealistic game like Horizon running on the Decima engine to a multiplayer game that needs to have a lot of players on PC and various places, and possibly Nintendo Switch in the future, suddenly that art style and the way Horizon Zero Dawn and Forbidden West look isn't as appealing from a developer perspective. And as much as we would love to see a game like that, and maybe they could have pulled it off, when you're starting development, it seems like a safer bet to switch to something more like this. Now, there were probably some other factors at play, of course. I don't think it was just that. Probably wanted to differentiate it visually from the other Horizon games, the other games in the series. They wanted it to have its own unique identity. It connects to the games, as we do see Aloy and Aaron at one point, but it is all new playable characters and all new stories, so they wanted its own visual identity. They also could have wanted something that potentially was able to grab a larger audience or a different audience. Something about stylized graphics just tends to capture younger audiences better than something photorealistic. So that could be another factor as well. They just wanted to be able to appeal to a broader age range. And I think a lot of things probably were at play for why this looks this way. But my main theory behind this is it's an optimization thing. They knew that this was going to make it visually distinct, capture a larger age range potentially, but also make it very easy to run on a whole multitude of systems. That makes the most sense to me. Let's look at a little bit of it and we'll go through. If we look at some of the combat, let's take a look. We can see some pretty interesting concepts. It definitely looks very Horizon. I'm excited to see what they do to expand their melee systems. They kind of had melee in Forbidden West, but it seems like they're expanding it. The hammer that has like a thruster, probably from one of the, machines. It looks really cool. Of course, you've got multitudes of bows and all kinds of items. When we dive a little bit deeper into the world, you've got your home base, you've got your area to meet up with friends, you've got missions you can go on, you've got bigger cauldron-based missions, which cauldrons are kind of like dungeons, and you've got all kinds of different things you can go on. Like the layout of the game looks right. It looks cool. Like, literally everything about this looks fun to me, except for how it actually looks. The graphics are just throwing me off in a way that I can't explain, but when I put everything together in my head or on paper, I'm like, yeah, I would play that. So I've got all kinds of melee weapons and really good archery combat, along with all of my buddies, and we're hunting down giant robotic dinosaurs and creatures across this open world. We're doing these raids in these super high-tech, sophisticated dungeons that are made from the remnants of past civilizations. When you take everything that is Horizon and put it together in this style of game, it sounds great. It sounds awesome, and Guerrilla has a great pedigree, so I trust that they're gonna do it well. And then you get to see it, and I think it's just kind of deflating. I think a lot of people were deflated by the way it looked and this initial trailer and kind of these new characters that weren't what we were expecting. I think when you put all this stuff together, that's why you're seeing the player reaction online that we are seeing. But I'm still optimistic. I'm still in a wait and see mindset. I'm never going to write a game off until I actually get hands-on with the controller and I'm playing it myself. But it does seem like this one, once again, unfortunately, as it goes in today's gaming economy, this seems like it has an uphill battle. This initial showing rubbed a lot of players the wrong way just because of the art style. As far as what I can tell, that's the art style, and the character direction is mostly what I've seen complaints of. And that is unfortunate. But I echo those complaints. It does throw me off a little bit as well. But we're waiting to see. Let's see how it goes. Anyway, I just wanted to talk about this for a little bit and ramble on about it. Y'all have a good one.